up, Impact Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Anthem of Impact Wrestling Show. I am your host, Jason. As always, just this week I'm coming to you a little under the weather. People that follow me on Twitter know that, this is obviously coming out a day late. I've been, pretty sick all week. Started Monday. Thought it was just a little bit of hangover after Super Bowl, but as the day went on, it just kept getting worse and clearly wasn't what I thought it was, and had a fever for about a day. And then since then, I've been just kind of dealing with this. I'm sure you guys can kind of hear it in my voice, but kind of a cough and sore throat, runny nose. It's kind of like this now. I'm just got this head cold. So yesterday, I didn't think I'd be able to make it through a full show. My voice was really bad yesterday. It's a lot better today. So yeah, we're gonna try to power through it. If I have to cough or anything like that, I totally apologize ahead of time right now. I'm gonna try to keep that down to a minimum. Got my trusty soda back here, some Coca-Cola. It helps. It just helps with my throat, keep it from getting all tickly and make me want to cough. So I'm ready to go now. I'm going to start off by talking about the news about the new commentary team. Now, I think this is just for 1 week, with it being Sanjay Dutt with Josh. Or it just could be until, I don't know. I think it's just going to be for 1 week, though. I really do. I think it's just 1 week. I thought overall they did an okay job. Not too much different than JB and Josh. As far as like excitement level goes, obviously Sanjay knows a little bit more about the integral parts of wrestling an actual match and doing the moves and stuff. So he had a little bit more information value into the commentary team. But I thought they called the main event very well and got kind of animated with a couple moves and stuff like that. So I thought overall commentary team was fine. It got us through the week. I'm just ready for them to finally give us a true every week commentary team. And if the possible rumors are true and we get a Kevin Kelly, Don Callis commentary team, awesome. I'll take that any day of the week. I really would. That'd be fine with me. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into the matches. We start off with what they were kind of dubbing as like an X Division tag team match with the return of Phantasma teaming up with formerly known as Hakeem Zayn, now Rahit Raju, going to be part of that new Desi Hit Squad stable in Impact, and they took on Taiji Ishimori and Matt Sydal. I thought Matt Sydal and Taiji Ishimori actually did look like a pretty good tag team. Like they could be a good tag team. And the only kind of critique I had about this match is it kind of started off really slow and almost kind of boring. And if you're going to start off with a match to start your whole show off, especially if you're going to use the X Division, I want it to start off fast and start off just impactful and really get the crowd going and get everybody's motivation. Like, oh man, this is going to be one hell of a show. Here we go. It did that by the end, which is fine to have a slow build to a crazy end in most matches. You're using the X Division and really in a this is just kind of a thrown together match. This wasn't like a story building between people. Maybe going forward, because they kind of continued with the Sydal Ishimori thing there later on whenever they did a backstage kind of interview thing. But for the match itself, there was no story going in. There were no kind of feuds already going on. So you don't really need to do too much story building through a match. You just need to put on a really good, competitive, fun match, especially if you're going to start off a show with it. That was my only critique. I thought overall it was a good match, but I would just have them start fast. They're the X Division. They're kind of known for that. They're known for the high-flying, quick matches, quick submissions, catch as catch can wrestling type thing where they're reversals and stuff like that. You can still do that, but do it fast, like they're all known for doing. Especially with like Sydal and Ishimori and Phantasma. I haven't seen enough of Akeem Zane to really, or Rahit Raju really to know what he fully can do. I've seen a couple of his matches, obviously, here on Impact. And for real, he has impressed me. I think he's going to end up being a really good big-time player for Impact Wrestling. Because, in fact, and I even wrote this in my notes, excuse me, I know a couple weeks ago he was in like another X Division, I think like a 4-way, 5-way, 6-way match or whatever it was. And I thought he really held his own. He didn't seem out of place in that match. But I remember saying then, you know, once they figure out what kind of character they can put to his gimmick, I think he could be a more total package guy. And that's whenever I think then you'll see what he can really give to the company. And, you know, now we see this, right? Now he's Rahit Raju. They're really upplaying the Indian background and the Indian heritage with the Desi Hit Squad. I think once that full stable comes in and they really start doing stuff with them, then I think we're going to see another even better Akeem Zane, Rahit Raju. But in this match, you could just see a difference. At least I could. Just the way he can, you know, play around within a match with this new character and this new gimmick. But like I said, I thought the match was finishing sequence was, I thought, really good. Just, you know, the near fall and the moves and the different things, and then the combination moves between Ishimori and Matt Sydal, which then led to Matt Sydal getting the win for his team. I just thought it was done really well. Really good match, fun match. I'll tell you right now, if this is a consistency of what our X Division is going to look like in the future, I'll tell you right now, this X Division is in great hands and has an amazing future. Especially if they do use guys like Ishimori, if they ever bring back Marufuji, Phantasma, if they bring back any of those guys. You know, one guy that I would love to see come back again would be Drago. I've always been a big fan of Drago. But if that, you know, that AAA working relationship keeps going, obviously, you know, you can have them start wrestling more for the X Division title and stuff like that. And I think it would be a lot of fun. Obviously, there's plenty of people there. And, you know, they made sure to mention Desmond Xavier on TV. And the fact that he is now, and I believe he's at Dragon's Gate, I believe, wrestling. Him and Zachary Wentz are over there teaming it up. You know, it'd be cool if they bring back Zach Wentz. If they have those two come back as a tag team, that'd be really good. I think if they ever want to really expand OVE, obviously, since they already have the connection with the Chris brothers and Sammy, Desmond and Zachary Wentz would be a good fit to throw in there. You know, you could have, because Desmond, I think, is way bigger than just the X Division. So you could have him go after X Division belts. You could have him going after Grand Championship belts or whatever they turn that belt into. Same thing with Zach Wentz. He can go after the X Division. You got Sammy going after the Grand or the World Heavyweight Championship. You can have OVE obviously take on the tag teams. Boom. There's a good stable. I'm always a fan of stables. I just think sometimes it helps get more people on TV and helps build superstars. Whenever you go to break them up, now you got a bunch of good individual stars. They don't need to be huge. I know that stable would be pretty big the way I'm excuse me, you know, projecting them. But I'm just talking about, you could bring them in after their excursion at Dragon's Gate and kill it and be put right in there, and that kind of gives them a gimmick, it gives them a purpose, puts them with guys that they're used to working with in OVE, and, you know, I think that'd be a lot of fun to watch. Excuse me. Anyway, so I think the X Division is in definitely good hands, and I thought the match was pretty good. Then we go to what I thought was kind of cool. This Austin Aries kind of like post-match press conference thing that they showed this week from last week after he won the title. This was very New Japan Pro Wrestling style, which, you know, what they do a lot. Kind of, they just talk to the press afterwards. And one thing that I thought was pretty interesting was that they said, Aries mentioned that he's not signed with Impact Wrestling. He's still a free agent. He's going to go around the world winning titles, which is really cool. Obviously, he does have some type of, you know, contract of some sort. But I like this story that they're going with, and they kind of pushed. And last night I watched the Brace of Impact on Twitch, and they started talking about it again. Well, he's gonna. This could be terrible for us. What are we doing? Because Austin could wrestle and wherever he wants and lose the title, and then we could just wake up and not even know we have a new champion. Blah blah blah. Please do that. Please do that. That would be so amazing. And I personally think it'd be groundbreaking if just don't announce it. Like, work us all and let Austin happen. Let's say he's wrestling at, I don't know, Wrestle Circus or PWG or, IPW UK or something like that. And he puts his title on the line and loses it to somebody. I don't know who. I don't care who necessarily. Obviously, you want it to be somebody decent, but that would be amazing. You just have Austin lose the title somehow, and now Impact has to deal with this. I think that'd be amazing storytelling. Obviously, you'd want to put in some type of whoever. Impact obviously has to make the decision on who Austin loses it to, and try to work out a deal with that wrestler. Of like, okay, we're gonna give you this title, so we want to sign you to just this 2-month contract or something like that, just so that we can work out a story and be able to have you on our TV and vice versa. That would be awesome. That would be a good way of storytelling. That would really now not only help Impact. I think it would help the people that they're willing to partner with get more people to their shows, because now whenever Impact people show up, especially title holders, you don't know what you're going to be able to witness. Instead, like the Brace of Impact last night, I'll talk about it in my review that I'll be having coming up later on today. But the only matches we saw involved Impact Wrestling wrestlers, which is awesome. And it was a good show. I was really looking forward to seeing some of the other people, just so that I can see some different indie stuff. On top of that, the match that I was really looking forward to was the Tenille Dashwood versus Angelina Love match. We didn't get to see it. If it's going to be a true partnership, I don't see why not. Why not have those matches on there? And this could be a way too, having Austin lose that title to somebody. I think would just be really, really interesting. I think it would get the wrestling world, especially the internet wrestling world, definitely talking. And it's something that nobody else has really done. I mean, I guess you could say Ring of Honor did it whenever Cody won, but come on. Even though Cody hadn't officially signed, he wasn't going anywhere. He was part of the Bullet Club with New Japan. He was wrestling New Japan Ring of Honor. They just never signed an actual long-term deal. I'm talking about, let's say, because I don't know who wrestles exactly where, but let's say Austin Aries shows up at Wrestle Circus and loses that belt to Shane Strickland. That would be huge. That'd be a big deal. And the reason why I use Wrestle Circus is because Wrestle Circus is kind of big, and a lot of Impact guys have kind of gone and wrestled there for a while. Shane Strickland would be a great opponent for Austin. That'd be a good match. Shane Strickland would be a believable champion, and he could be a guy that he's the guy that I'd like to see in Impact Wrestling. Period. Anyway, but boom, him showing up on TV would be cool too, and it would just be different. It'd be cool. Shane Strickland is also Killshot in Lucha Underground. I don't know if he still is. I haven't kept up with Lucha Underground, unfortunately, this last season. I just haven't. Won't this year either, because I don't have the El Rey network on my PlayStation View, but maybe I'll catch up on some Netflix stuff or whatever. But Shane Strickland and Lucha, so I don't know about his contract or if they've written him off TV or if he's still there or whatever, but I know he was. And supposedly Impact with their AAA, AAA has that affiliate with Lucha Underground. Lucha Underground guys are now able to work for Impact. Hence why we've seen guys like coming up, Brian Cage is coming in, obviously Taya and Johnny Impact. That's why Phantasma, also known as King Cuerno. You know, like some of this is really cool. That's why I'm really hoping. And there was rumors that they were in talks with Jeff Cobb. God, I want Jeff Cobb in Impact Wrestling. He might be that number one guy that I want in Impact Wrestling super bad. Probably followed by Matt Riddle. I mean, just Jeff Cobb. It's an insane talent. Yeah, him coming into Impact Wrestling would be insane. But yeah, you know, so that would work out too with the Shane Strickland thing. I just think that would be an amazing, amazing, amazing thing. But I'm going way off topic here. Anyway, Eli Drake interrupts, says, you know, that match never happened. You're not signed, so that means that you can't have that title. It's still my title. Blah blah blah. Austin's basically saying, you know what, if you want a rematch, no problem. In fact, I'll give you time to get ready for it. And of course, then it was announced. So next week on Impact, Eli Drake versus Austin Aries for that World Heavyweight Championship. Can't wait. That match is actually going to be really good. If they let them really go, that's going to be a really good match. I cannot wait to see that. I think both of their styles fit each other like perfect. But after that, we get Cult of Lee versus Tech, a tag team called Tech. Whenever Trevor Lee and Caleb Conley came down wearing the bandanas, I thought it was absolutely hilarious. They're trying to give the LAX sign. Caleb's trying to look like Trevor Lee now. You know, he's growing out his beard. He's growing out like the chest hair, everything. So I think that's really kind of like a pretty funny little nuance thing that they're paying attention to, and I think that's a big thing. I think it's really cool how they're starting to come together. They obviously make a good tag team. Kind of wish this was. I mean, they did pretty much control the whole time the match, and it was definitely a squash. I just wish the squash match would have happened a little bit quicker, to really kind of emphasize the dominance that they have on this Tech team. But nonetheless, Colt Lee got the win. They did, you know, pretty much dominate the match. It just lasted a little too long. After the match, LAX appeared on the big screen. I really liked this too, and this is something I think Don Callis is also bringing from New Japan stuff, because they've done it several times now, where people will just get on the screen and do like a pre-taped video, because it wasn't like they were interacting. You know, sometimes we've seen that before too, where somebody's up on the screen and somehow they're still interacting with the guy that's in the ring. This one wasn't that. Conan got on, said some stuff, basically said, watch out, you two, we're coming after you. You guys disrespected us, now we're coming to disrespect you, type thing. And then, of course, like right after they get done talking, the LAX, you know, gunshots go off and music hits. Whenever the gunshots go off, you know, the Cole Lee played it up like, you know, they're scared now and everything else. So that's going to be really good. That's going to be really good. That whole feud, I think, is going to be just terrific. So then we go backstage, and Allie is backstage trying to talk to Kira Hogan, saying, hey, you know, I got your back. If anything goes down, gotcha. Then a telegram deliverer or something gives something to Allie. It's a big, huge Valentine's Day card and says, you know, I will, you know, meet me in the Impact Zone next week, the day after Valentine's Day. Love, your secret admirer. So that's going to be interesting and a lot of fun. I'm guessing this is how they're going to bring back that, you know, Laurel and Braxton and Allie story. I don't know where they're going to bring it back to do something with it, I believe. But that leads to Laurel Van Ness versus Kira Hogan. And I thought it was an okay match. That one bump was super disgusting. Laurel just basically, like, ripcords Kira Hogan right into, like, the middle rope. Oh, man, that was hard to watch. You're like, oh, God, because all I keep thinking about whenever I see that move is, and I don't know who else has seen this, because I know a lot of my subscribers don't necessarily ever keep up with the WWE. I do watch it. I haven't been watching it, like I said, a lot here lately, but I can't remember how long ago it was now. Like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now. There's a tag team match where between the Vaudevillains and Enzo and Cass, and Simon Gotch was supposed to shove Enzo out the bottom of the ring underneath the bottom rope. Well, Enzo didn't get his head down because he's a terrible professional wrestler, and just boom, jarred his head against that bottom rope as he was going out and got a concussion out of it. So that's always like automatically like when I'm thinking like, oh god, like I never think that's a legit bump somebody's taking. I figure like, oh god, she like fell into the ring or into the ropes, and it looked just really, really gruesome. um, but at the end of the day, I guess it was safe bump. She was fine. Laurel Van Ness wins and basically kind of a squash, unfortunately. I don't know kind of where they're going with trying to build Kira. But again, I've been impressed with Kira as far as how she sells, how she moves in the ring. She doesn't seem like she's botchy or anything like that. She seems fairly fluid. She seems good. But after the match, Laurel attacks Kira, which brings out Allie. She clears the house and stands tall with the belt in hand. Can't wait until Allie wins that damn belt. Yeah, Team Allie all the way, people. Uh, anyway, then we go to what I think is probably one of the coolest things of the whole night. And they did two different segments of this because they kind of gave you like a sneak peek before they went to commercial right here. And then later on, they did a full thing. And it was, they show OVE kind of stalking somebody getting out of a car who looked to be Bobby Lashley. And then we get a tremendous promo by Jimmy Jacobs. Says basically, Joseph, you didn't listen. I said I wanted Abyss this week, and well, Abyss is nowhere to be found. And he said, but that's fine. If you don't want to bring Abyss, looks like we will have to bring Abyss out ourselves. And I think I like where this is going. Anytime, because I love Abyss. Abyss has always been one of my favorite TNA guys. True, especially as he's evolved. Like Chris Park, the guy himself, has proven he's an amazing promo guy, actor. Obviously, he's a good wrestler, but like as they evolved him, where he started talking more, he went through the different type of like crazies. He's just been good. Then whenever you see him play Joseph Park, he's amazing. He's hilarious. He's great. He can do so many different things. So I'm liking where this is going. I'm very intrigued. I love Jimmy Jacobs. Putting him with Congo Kong was what a brilliant idea. It fits perfectly. So yeah, so that was really good. So that it keeps me intrigued. Maybe we'll see that happen next week. I don't know. But yeah, this whole Congo Kong Abyss thing should be a lot of fun. Then we do get the full version of this OVE thing. I thought it was shot really well, like it was being selfied or videotaped. It wasn't selfie because they gave you like the recording thing. But it was definitely like being recording like a handheld camera of some sort. OVE attacks Bobby Lashley, stuffs him into a truck, or a trunk. I cannot talk. I'm so sorry. Shoves him into a trunk, and then of course they all pose around the camera. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Taking over everything stuff. Then we get to our second knockouts match of the night. Hania, I don't even care if I butcher her name right now. Versus Amber Nova from the Garage. Amber Nova. Again, this was a match between two people that are not. I guess they only kept it because of the post-match thing with Rosemary. But this is a match with two people that don't mean anything to this company. Like, Amber Nova is just kind of a jobber talent that comes in every once in a while whenever they need somebody to job. And Hania is fucking gone from the company. Like, I just, especially whenever it's highly profiled that she has left. Well, she didn't leave. She kind of got fired, kind of left. Whatever the hell the story is. And it's like very publicly known. God, just cut it out or some. I don't know. I guess maybe they're keeping it because it's the one thing that they gave to Rosemary for right now. So I think they want that to play out. I'm guessing, which is fine. Anytime we can get Rosemary on TV, that's fine. But I actually thought the highlight of the match was whenever Josh and Sanjay were making fun of that little ref that looks like he's like 12. I just think it was funny. Whenever they kind of break character a little bit and kind of do that teasing stuff, I'm totally fine with that. I think it's hilarious. And, like Sanjay was saying, I think Josh has called this ref like 4 or 5 different names. And I remember one match, during the turkey suit match, where Josh is just ragging on the kid the whole time. This stuff is funny, and I'm fine with that, especially during this match, because this match did not matter at all. But, like I said, the end of the match, after the match was over, and Rosemary attacks Hania and stands tall. So that part was cool. That part, I guess, maybe made it worth it, and we'll see what happens between those two. Then we get to the main event of the night, where we've got Johnny Impact versus Moose versus EC3 versus Alberto El Patron for the #1 contenders match. I thought this match was actually pretty good. I thought, actually, EC3's promo was a little odd. Obviously, he knew the whole time that he was done and he was heading out. Because even, jumped on, am I there? Am I here? It doesn't matter, because I'm the best there. I'm the best here, and all this stuff. But I thought it was a really good promo. One of his better promos in a very long time, I thought. I don't know. But it is. It's hard because knowing that he's not around, he's not winning these matches. But yeah, his promo stuck out to me, and I thought it was really good. Then we get to the match. Let me talk about the match. I thought they told a pretty good story overall from start to finish, because it started off with the two teams from last week kind of working together to try to get an upper hand on the other person. And then it finally devolved, and it always starts with the heels turning on each other, and then the two faces not really turning on each other, but willing to fight each other because, the end goal is be the #1 contender. Obviously, they gave this match a ton of time, which is great. You need to do that, especially if you're going to have a 4-way match. It's hard to have that. In reality, it would be hard to have this match end really quick with so many different people that could interrupt counts, stop submissions, whatever else. So whenever you give them a long time, it's good. Obviously, this is a match where they reported on that Moose got hurt. He was out for a while, but whenever he got back in, holy shit, what a beast. Just gutting out. I don't know exactly what it ended up being, but man, to gut that out and finish that off basically on one leg, and still putting on a good show there at the end of the to finish off that match, it was amazing. Definitely hope, it's not that I hope. We all kind of know it's coming. That Moose is going to be kind of the face of Impact here going forward. Definitely in the near future. And I think Impact needs a guy like Moose to kind of be that new franchise guy. And the reason why I say that is because I definitely feel like he is all in for Impact Wrestling. He's made plenty of money in his career. So I don't know if money's a worry to him. I think just competing and becoming the best, and I think him wanting to make Impact the best is something that Impact Wrestling has really missed since Hogan came in. And it's nothing even against what Hogan and them did to the company, because if you actually watched the first several years, like 2010, 11, maybe even into 12, those years were still pretty good. It was towards the end all of a sudden, and then once Hogan and Bischoff left, that kind of left the company just crumbling. But really since 2010, you kind of lost those guys that lived and died for Impact or TNA, and they were now we just had a bunch of guys that were like, hey, we're here and we want to wrestle, and that was it. I think Ring of Honor still has those guys that wrestle to make Ring of Honor the best. And Impact hasn't in a while. Moose, I think, is one of those guys that could do that. Or that wants to do that. I think a little bit of Matt Sydal wants to do that. And we got to go find those guys again that, wants to wrestle for Impact to make Impact great. And like I said, I do think it starts with Moose. People can talk crap. I know there's a lot of people that don't think Moose is very good either. And I don't care. Moose is undeniably very passionate, I think, about wrestling and about Impact Wrestling. And that's what Impact needs. Now, unfortunately, Moose did not win, but I think my second choice to win this match did win, and that is Johnny Impact. And I think the way that they have handled Johnny Impact actually has been pretty good. As far as they've withheld themselves of just throwing the title on him right away. They've definitely had him in the title conversation pretty much the whole time, but they haven't thrown it on him yet. So it's still a chase. He's still being a babyface, and he's still chasing, and it's a big-time chase. And not only the reason why I kind of am happy that Johnny Impact won is because who doesn't want to see a Johnny Impact versus Austin Aries match? That match is going to be great. Don't know when it's going to happen, but more than likely Austin's going to beat Eli next week, and then hopefully that sets up Austin Aries versus Johnny Impact, and excuse me. And I just think it's going to be really, really good. A really good match, a really fun match, a real good high-flying type match. It's just going to be fun. And the promos, I think, are going to be good. I think a story could be told really well out of that. But yeah, that is this week's episode of Impact Wrestling. Like I said, overall, I thought it was a good show. It wasn't, amazing, but it was good. It still feels like they're just kind of putting together shows. Don't have a whole lot of stories yet. I think we're seeing some getting started up, but nothing really concrete yet. Nothing that we can kind of see too many feuds happening. So that's one thing that I'm more interested in, is seeing where they're actually going to take some stories. Maybe that starts next week. Obviously, like I said, we kind of see the Jimmy Jacobs, Congo Kong, Abyss thing. Something's going on with Allie and Sacred Admire, OVE with Bobby Lashley, possibly Cole Lee, LAX. These things are starting, but that's, I can't wait to kind of really get in the midst of this and really see where these stories are going and where Don Callis and Scott D'Amore have this company going. So, anyway, be on the lookout later on today. I will have my Brace for Impact review, and of course, next week we will have another Impact Wrestling review. I should be doing it on a Friday. I should be fully back to 100% by next review, by next Friday's review. But anyway, let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of the episode, what you guys think of who the new number one contender is. If you guys are first-time viewers, please hit that subscribe button. I am now finally over 100 subscribers, so thank you very much to everybody out there that has subscribed to this channel. I greatly appreciate it. I'm very humbled to think that even one person gives a shit about what I have to say. But to know that there's now 103, I think last time I checked, is really cool. Really cool. Again, I've said this many a times. I'm not trying to do this to become YouTube famous. I'm not trying to do this to make any money off of it. It is just strictly, I love professional wrestling. I love Impact Wrestling. And I want to be able to talk about it and this is the way I can do it. And the fact that people are giving me a chance and listening to what I have to say, it's really cool. So again, I greatly appreciate it. To any new possible subscribers, please hit the subscribe button. 100 people like what I have to say to subscribe, so you should too. Anyway, hit that notification bell, hit those like buttons, and if you guys want, follow me on Twitter at Anthem of Impact. Until next week, everybody. Peace.